people did not want to see robots doing comedy.
Welcome to another episode of Chewing the Fat. I am your host, Big Rob. Thank you so much for tuning in, downloading the podcast. I certainly do appreciate that. Thank you to all the folks that have bought me a coffee at chewingthefatbr.com by clicking the little coffee mug. Certainly does help the podcast to keep going so that we can continue to tell these beautiful, messy human stories. Right now, joining me from Portland, Oregon, please welcome Sergio Cilli. Sergio, thank you so much for being here.
You bet. How's it going?
Going well, man. Going well.
Good.
Folks that may not know who you are, I feel for them because I realized just this year that I have been a fan of yours for at least 16 years. Because I worked in television in a production room, and when we got that B-roll came out, I cannot tell you how many people I shared that with and was like, come on, you got to see this. You got to see this. This is amazing. Because it was what we were all dealing with. And when you work on the production side, you know. Yeah. It's that.
I love that. It had a resurgence, you know, with the popularity of the AI audition videos. Mm-hmm. I thought, I'm going to put this back out because I don't even know if I'd ever even posted it on Instagram. It was an old YouTube video. And yeah, it was so fun to see people connecting the dots. You know, I had I still think of myself as a sketch guy, but I'm like semi-retired sketch guy, but I used to do lots of sketch videos with my group Cream in LA and was like doing UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was great. It really was. And, I do have a question about we got that B-roll in the Chiron that's rolling up behind you. What is turtleneck fights?
I actually made a video. It was a joke, of course.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people, I put it in there like, we'll see if anyone catches it. And of course, you don't know when you make a video, it's going to go viral. So I just thought, you know, maybe 1,000 views or something, and it would go unnoticed. But when millions of people watch something, yeah, people do notice. Yeah. And it was a joke. And then we actually made a video answering that question that was not as popular called the history of turtleneck fighting. And the story goes that when two, tailors were making outfits, and that one of them they got into a fight and ruffled one of their and ruffled one of the neck collars to make a turtleneck, and he thought that looks pretty good. So then they started doing turtleneck fighting, like a Fight Club thing. That's awesome. It's a very funny video, and then we put so much energy into it. The little cash we made from licensing out, we got that B-roll. Mm-hmm. You know, we used to pay for the history of turtleneck fighting, which never went off like we thought it would. But that's the lesson of viral videos.
Yeah.
I should have just made some kind of sequel.
But, you know, I will definitely find it, watch it, put a link to it in the show notes and things like that, along with everything else. Type
Cream History of Turtleneck Fighting and you will find it. It's still there.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch it now. You're in Portland now. Is that area home for you, up in the PNW, or? Oh,
you mean like where I grew up? No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just, I wanted to stay on the West Coast. And we really wanted to live somewhere a little greener with seasons. We had 2 little kids when we moved up here who were still little, but not as little. Mm-hmm. And just kind of wanted to slow down a little bit as far as like the day-to-day lifestyle.
I love that. Where did you grow up though, personally?
A few places. Okay. I was born in New York City, and then we moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh wow, not far from here.
Not too far.
Yeah.
And we were there until I was a teenager, and then we moved to Colorado, of all places. And then I went to Ithaca College, upstate New York, and then I moved to LA. So I've been all over the place.
No, that's awesome. Was the entertainment bug kind of something you had from a young child growing up?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, and even in hindsight, even earlier than I thought.
Hmm.
Um, I used to make like sketch videos when handy cams became a thing that started
Yeah.
to like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Um, as soon as my parents bought a handy cam, we started making like comedy videos, and it's funny to see that because like it clearly was like something I was interested in, and he was too. He didn't pursue it. He's a musician.
Hmm.
But yeah, I loved doing it. But like the real like in my back or the bug or whatever you want to call it happened in high school. There was a video making program that was offered at my school,
Hmm.
and we did a night shoot of this little like mafia, like parody mafia thing I wrote.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, let's shoot it at night. It's gonna look way better. And shot it at night, and we even got to like light cigarettes to make it smoky. This was, the 90s. So
Yeah.
you could do anything like that.
Yeah.
And like it was just like crazy. We like stayed up till like 2 a.m. shooting this thing, and I learned about coverage, and it was just so fun. And I just like went home, and my mom was up waiting for me or heard me come in or whatever, and was like, how'd it go? I was like, this is what I want to do.
Nice.
I was like, I want to do this. We had already looked at other colleges. I was like, those aren't going to work. What are the film schools?
Yeah.
So it was a complete like 180 shift around 17. That would have been pretty sweet. I'd be like 120 now, but
That's awesome. That's awesome. And is that also so the quote filmmaking bug kind of got you then? Where did your sense of humor originate from and start? Did you really started to, were you always kind of like the wisecracker, the class clown, as they say, that type of stuff?
yeah, I'm sure there's some trauma somewhere to attribute it to. Second child need more of the attention.
Yes.
But it did always come naturally to me. I see it in like my kids too. It's fun to see it on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, if my parents ever listened, like, it's not like they weren't funny, but like, it wasn't like, oh, my dad was always cracking jokes and watched Jerry Lewis or whatever. Like,
Right.
It wasn't like that. But I think it came from do that well in school. You have to find your way to fit in. There's usually some sort of pain you're blocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say that I did not do very well in school. So you find other ways
Mm-hmm.
to fit in or to find your place, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. As a fat kid, a fat adult, I used comedy and humor as a self-defense coping mechanism so that I wouldn't get beat up, because it's hard for, somebody to beat you up when they're laughing and all of their friends are laughing and you're making them laugh and they want to keep you around because of that and don't put their fist in your face. So, I mean, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, 100%.
So in the stuff that you're doing now, the will AI replace us? And it's brilliant. It's so good, because as a voice actor myself, is one of the things that we talk about in our little groups all the time and things like that. And it's like, because I know voice actors that were like, oh, I'm doing this thing and I'm helping build this thing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're putting us all out of work. And I think especially what you're doing as far as the actual on-camera AI actors and things like that, it definitely shows the gaps. Is your own work what caused you to, or your own fear for work, what caused you to start like, hey, let's see what happens with this? How good is it?
Yeah, I mean, it came about very organically in that, I was probably reading the same messages everyone else was reading, or the headlines that were coming out around last year, around summertime, I feel like, of 2025. There was a lot of upgrades to the AI tools, and it was kind of blowing people away. And my mom sent me like an article. I think it was like a New York Times article or something about like Hollywood is over or something like that.
Mm.
And we were on vacation at the time, and I read it and I was just like, it really like hit me. It's probably like the mood I was in that day. Like you get the right mix of when you get certain news, and
Yeah.
I was super down. And like I remember very vividly, we were at like a park with the kids on like summer break. And I was telling my wife, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, I think we got to like really figure out something. I think it's like over like tomorrow or something.
Mm.
And she was like, I think you should really go home. When we get home, I think you should just start using it and like see what it is and see what you're so afraid of. I had never used AI. I hadn't even like done Chat GPT. I had literally done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that didn't even have an iPhone until like it was freakishly late to get one. I feel like I was like one of the last 100 people to get one.
Yeah.
So I've been always kind of analog.
Mm-hmm.
I love records, as you can see right here.
Yeah.
I've always been I love like 70s filmmaking. Like I've always been that kind of soul. I've been an old soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I never used AI. And she's like, when we get home, you should start playing with it and see what happens. So you can at least know what people are talking about. And when people are asking you what your opinion is on, you'll have an opinion. So when we got back, I made a few calls to see like, well, I literally didn't even know what the programs were called. I got some advice on which ones to use.
Mm-hmm.
And made a couple 100% AI videos. And, coming from a sketch background, there was something really it was like, honestly, it was like, I was like, wow, like I can have an idea and like start making it 10 seconds later. And,
Mm-hmm.
Like I live in Portland now. I don't even live in LA anymore. Like all my funny friends still live there. So like, initially I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Maybe I will start making comedy videos in my free time again. Because I certainly didn't stop doing it because I didn't like it. It was more about I had a career. I was directing commercials and other things. I had writing projects, and I just didn't have time to like. If you know anything about like indie sketch comedy, like, you're basically producing it. Like you're going to Target and buying the whatever props you need and then returning them.
Right.
It's a
zero
lot of work.
Budget production.
The zero, yeah, and like I made, literally like 30 or 40 sketch videos that way, and I was burnt out by like 31.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that anymore. And then when you get a taste of like having a production behind you, as I got bigger budget things, you're like, I'm really done with that now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there was like, I was very much excited, honestly, like making comedy videos with AI, and I made a couple, and one, it took forever to get a good take, and two, it was like incredibly limiting as far as like what your, whatever you want to call them, performer, whatever it is, it was very hard to get to do what you wanted it to do, and you had to work within the limitations of the performance. So I did like have some things that I thought actually came out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But even though like maybe 2 days to get something usable, but like the response was like, so either why are you doing this or just like people weren't connecting with it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was connecting with it because I had made it.
Right.
But people did not want to see robots doing comedy. And that was very clear. And I also didn't really enjoy making the videos. Like it was more of like an assignment.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you've ever like, oh my God, like collaborating with like a team of people and making something funny and we're all laughing and like trying different things, like it's the best. I mean, it truly is the best. I love doing what I do. But then just to be like, in front of your computer being like, oh, it keeps like glitching out there. I need to like do 17 takes before it doesn't glitch out. Like that's not like fun. That's just like doing the work.
Yeah.
So this is a long-winded answer, but I basically was like, I'm not going to make these videos anymore. No one likes them and they're not fun to do. And I do feel like I've gotten my answer of what AI can and can't do. And then of course, like a week later, I was in the shower and I was like, ooh, maybe if I put myself in these videos with AI, that would be interesting and funny.
Yeah.
And then I thought, and I had like a few months of like logged in my head, like all the things it can't do. And I was like, that's really cool. Let's talk about what it can't do. Everyone talks about what it can do. I'm going to talk about what it can't do, and I'm going to show you by showing you its performance in its rawest form, which is the audition.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's amazing because, one, as an actor, the audition process is very nerve-wracking, period. You know what I mean? As an actual performer. So,
right.
So to see how much worse it can be for something that's generated basically with a few keystrokes and things like that, it's like, maybe whatever that they scraped, that they stole from other actors putting up their audition performances, are now dictating their ability to audition as well.
Yeah.
I just think it's brilliant, and I love it whenever you put the new videos out. It's so refreshing to me as a performer to be able to, like, all right, you know what? Lots of stuff goes on in the world. I can still just put the best me that I can be out there and know for a fact it's better than this. But there's always going to be a corporation, a company, a bean counter that's going to be like, yeah, but that guy costs this much. This stuff costs nothing or way less or whatever. And it's like, okay, but you're literally getting what you pay for out of that.
Yeah. And it's going to get better. And it's also my job at this point that I guess I've assigned to myself. Like there's going to be new updates. I mean, there's already one now, but I feel like in the next couple of months, it'll be really interesting to see what I do with it. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with it, because I feel like my job, there will be an update and it will be better in some ways, but I know there's going to be things it can't do. I have yet to see it do any kind of like scene with 3 or 4 other actors and like do a scene that's actually impressive. I still have yet to see it do like a actually real performance that is actually has substance. It's getting better at like getting the lines right and not doing all the glitchy things, but it's still like a pretty emotionally vacant thing. Like I'm doing one right now, and it's a little tricky because it's not like they're glitching out as much as the early videos I did, but it still sucks. And I'm like, well, is that interesting? You know what I mean? Like just something being bad isn't really necessarily like the of a video. So then I started, do you even understand like what this is about? Like trying to see if what it would say back. Attitude. Yeah, I get it. When is this going to be over?
Wow.
and I'm like, you want this audition to be over? Like, fine, let's fucking make it's over then. Care? Like, I don't even want to work with you. Like, I feel like that's how the video is going to end.
Yeah.
Like, if you imagine, like, if you said that in an audition, that would be insane. It would be career suicide. And it's not like the director is God or anything, but like, you would just never act like that. That would be, that's saying like, I don't want to be here. So I'm thinking this video just ends with them being like, are we done yet? And I'm like, yeah, we're done. I think we are done.
Yeah. I love that. And like you said, I like the transformation you've had, like you said, to trying to like, all right, here's the scene. I'm auditioning for, a dishwasher ad. All right, here's a Christmas family dinner or Thanksgiving, but like what was it like when you did the one and you got a gun pulled on you out of nowhere from zero prompts? Like, I mean, I think your reaction was genuine, if I'm not mistaken, that did you just pull a gun? And chamber around at an audition for something.
Very exciting, honestly. I mean, it was like, hindsight, we're all like, oh, that was a good one. But like, think about point of view. That was the first one I ever did too. So like that, it got that off the rails so quickly was like, holy shit, I've got something way better than I could have ever imagined. I would never could have written this. And I showed it to like a few friends before I put it out, and they're like, oh, I love how you made him pull a gun. I was like, no, I didn't tell it to do that. And they're like, no way. And I'm like, this was again, like, it's all hindsight now, but like I made it really clear. Like, that's why I started putting the prompts in either in the description or in the thing below.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have like a big thing that says, I didn't tell it to do this, because this was all like, no one had ever seen anything like this.
Yeah.
But it was like catching lightning in a bottle. It was like incredible. I had to watch it a few times. Like, even the first time it happened, I didn't even register what had happened. And I just thought it would be a funny joke. Like, that was like one of the way I like ideas is like, I'll usually like think of something and then I'll write down the beats really quick, which is like how I used to write sketches. And like, I wrote down the questions first before I even did any of the prompts. And like one of them, which I just thought was going to be a joke, was, and now do one where you're just not being weird. Cause I knew like everything they do is weird.
Yeah.
So I just thought that would just be a funny joke that I say, and then it does whatever it does. But I could have never possibly imagined that, it would pull a gun.
That's crazy.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like you said, you couldn't have scripted that. It's weirdly collaborative with a computer, but
which is what I've been saying, is like, that's not collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like the prompt did not identify that it was now collaborating. It didn't think that it was doing something not weird, or maybe it did think it was doing something not weird and that pulling a gun is normal for it. But, that's where that human spark, that creativity was like, oh, okay. All right. Let's dive deeper into this. And that's where your background comes into play. And that's where you're able to take that and then just run with it. And it is so freaking good. It is so freaking good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I put a lot of pressure on myself every week. Wife, she was here. She'd be like, yeah, we talk. Like every week I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this again. Like, it really feels like I've created a Frankenstein monster. I'm not grateful about, I'm like super, I love it. I mean, to have people like what you're doing is incredible, but the pressure that I probably do put on myself to either one up it or at least keep it at the same level,
right,
is crazy. And like, it only seems to be getting like every time. Like, I really loved, I'll just say, like, I'll toot my own horn. I loved the one about the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my God.
Is one of my favorite ones. And that was the last one I did. And I was like, oh God, I just made one even better than I thought I could ever do. But that's also really exciting too. And do take the pressure off myself is, and I don't even know if you know this about me, but I was on a show on this deep cable channel called Current TV, which like, it was a channel that Al Gore owned, like in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like on this show as a writer and performer for 7 years. And like, I had a really tiny fan base, like it was small, but like it was a job. And like, that's how I paid my bills for a long time. But I had a clip show and I had to do one every week.
Mm-hmm.
Realize, and I also worked in late night television before that, where I worked at a late show. And this idea that like every day you got to do it, and some days are just gonna be better than other days, and is probably the only reason I kept going, because it was like, okay, if you're just making one a week or two a week, I was even making 3 a week in the beginning.
Wow. And
being like, not all of them are going to be as good, but like, if you just keep doing it, you're going to hit like, they're all going to be baseline good, but like a few of them are going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like if you're in the writer's room and there are 5 other people and you're all right, I need five jokes, whatever, 5 parts of monologue from everybody. And somebody's going to go through and 4 of them might not hit. 5 of them might not hit on a specific day, right. But then you come back the next day, like, okay, it's like they wrote better than I did this day, but I still churned it out. I still did something. I still felt like,
oh yeah,
I wasn't
a writer. I was a segment producer, and I mean, the writers for late night, I mean, they would turn in like 100 jokes, and maybe two got picked. That if you got 2 in out of 100, that was like, oh shit, he's good.
Right. But it's, I mean, same type of mindset though. You can't you can't limit yourself on what the perception of whoever the reader, the viewer, or whatever it's going to be. It's like, you know what? I put in good work. I put out good work. it's going to be, especially when you're talking internet type stuff. You know what I mean? It's like there's no formula for going viral. You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna be what hits somebody, and then it keeps getting, you know, shared out and liked and commented on and all the other things that the algorithm needs. Hey, algorithm. He invented the internet.
Al Gore,
right?
yeah. Wait, he did. Yes, he did. Interesting. I never put that together. You know, we should call it the algorithm.
The algorithm. Yeah. No, I love it. And yes, the kite scene in Shawshank Redemption was amazing and so beautifully crafted, and how that kite became so small in his hands was amazing. And the wall that flew, it was just a masterpiece in fuckery. I don't know what else to call it.
But that was like me trying to do, like, you know, in improv, you always be like, okay, well, like, if that's what it, like, let's explore that.
Yeah.
I yes and it, and it was really fun.
Yeah. I think it's, like I said, I think it's great, and I hope you continue to be inspired in the work, in putting out that stuff that's inside you that gets, you know, because yes, I feel like at some point, as you said, you got burned out. You may get burned out with this. And also you don't want to get known as the, will AI replace us guy. You have such a deep history that precedes all of this. And, you know, you don't want to be, it's like, yes, this is a good chapter in your life and your career and all like that, but hopefully it's not the only thing, you know. Right. You should definitely be known as we got that B-roll guy instead.
That's the thing. Well, hopefully just a funny writer, director, actor guy. And, you know, I have other things cooking. I mean, I am doing, which might end up being the final chapter. I'm not saying it is I'm developing a live show for Will AI Replace Us that I'm going to do in LA, and hopefully, like, I'm going to do in Portland, LA, maybe, and then maybe take it like to Chicago and New York, which would be like a 1 hour live show that basically takes you through a whole casting of a movie where this director has been given his opportunity to make a feature, but he has to use AI, and we watch that journey.
Oh, wow. I love that. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. And you, and again, you have so many other things, in your acting arsenal and your background and your writing and everything that you've got going on there. I did have a question though. Do you think possibly, Betsy Sidero's casting in Ghost came because she worked in Ghost Cart?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay. No. Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but
I would ask.
I doubt it.
I don't know. That was some thrilling work.
It was. I love that. I love that little video.
That's another, again, I'll put a link in. That's another great video for you. Again, just because it reminds me of the stuff that, again, I used to do, because I'm a little bit older than you are. So I had a handy cam and, you know, a little digital high 8 and all like that. But I also had the VHS camcorder. So it was full size crash recording on, you know, 2 VCRs. And when I started in television, I mean, we had like 1-inch machines and 3/4-inch decks with, you know, an umbilical and a camera, and you're trying to go do news and this, that, and shoot commercials or whatever. So the accessibility of the equipment to be able to create now, I think really has spawned a lot more creativity. Again, to give people the access to be able to be creative. Where is the line between the accessibility to the tools to be creative and then the limitation of like AI in replacing that human creativity?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be in the hands of the creator. You know, I think it's an exciting time, and I also think beyond that, it's when people talk about using AI. We definitely need rules for like the corporations and the Hollywood machine, but I think it's damaging when we kind of lump it all together. Like, I don't think it's a big deal for a 15-year-old to be experimenting with the tools that are available to them.
Mm-hmm.
I know I would have probably loved to have played with it because maybe that's just how you make videos. And maybe like that's going to be at least how you like form a voice of some kind. I mean, I'm sure that like, but that doesn't mean it should be replacing people. I think it would be like, I mean, again, like, you know, when I had so many ideas when I was a kid that like I could never imagine, I could never make because I was just a kid living in the suburbs. And like, I mean, I had this idea of like doing like a Star Wars parody, and like how fun would it have been like if I could have actually tried to make that, you know what I mean, with the tools that are available now.
Yeah.
So I think there is something in that. I don't, and I'm not saying like that's why AI is good. I'm saying that it might be like a byproduct that is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard like CEOs of AI companies be like, well, think about the little guy in Oklahoma. And I'm like, that's not who you're fucking making it for.
Yeah, right.
Do not tell me like you started this $1 trillion, whatever this is.
Yeah.
For the little kid, the 13-year-old in Oklahoma. So he had a voice. I mean, that's not what this is about.
Yeah. Don't piss on my shoe and say it's raining. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's true that yes, some people that may have never been able to make a video might be able to now, but that is not why we're doing this.
Mm-hmm. And the protections, I again, as a voice actor, protections, I believe that we should have ownership of our voice and our likeness and our name and things like that. And that all of that free content that these things scraped to get their models, those people should have been compensated. That was theft of intellectual property, and they are never going to see it that way here. For the most part, I don't think they'll ever see it that way, but I definitely think there needs to be some sort of legislation that gives you ownership of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's, and I think, I mean, I'm hopeful that it will get there too. I mean, because the Hollywood system has so much money on the line, like I do think that I would hope that helps us all. Because they're not going to like lay down and be like, okay, just steal all of our stuff and like, now you're the movie business,
right?
So, I hope so. I'm hopeful of it, because I mean, I create people all the time, and I'm like, or not create people, but like, I'm like, who is that? Like, what is that?
Right?
You know, they were like, that kind of looks like you. You know, people have said like some of the avatars I make look like me, and I'm like, yeah, I mean,
it's a possibility.
It's like 5% me in there.
Yeah. You just never know. I know you also have, aside from this, what you do, because I want to get into some other stuff there, you have another passion for foraging mushrooms, specifically up there in the PNW?
Yeah, I like foraging mushrooms.
I think I saw a video you were doing lobster mushrooms. Those things are huge.
Yeah, they are.
Huge.
Probably they're about this big. Yeah, porcinis are also really big too.
What got you into mushroom foraging?
You know, it's just this thing of follow wherever the curiosity takes me. And in Oregon, there's just a lot of forests, and especially during the pandemic, just one of the things you could do is like go for a forest walk. And if you're walking in the forest in Oregon, you will see mushrooms everywhere. And I just had this like vision in my head of like, boy, it'd be so cool to like be able to walk around and pick a mushroom and be like, I can eat this one, I can't eat that one. And I don't know, it was like a very strong feeling that I wanted to. And I'm Italian, which now I realize like that's been like part of our ancestry for a very long time. To like pick mushrooms, like it's a big thing there. Truffles and porcinis, and like it's definitely a big. I'm sure sisters were picking mushrooms. Like there's no doubt. Like the first time I did it, I felt like some DNA thing exploded or something.
It's like
yeah. And then my wife, you can tell probably by now, my wife helps me with a lot of things. She was like, "Oh, I found a class. You could take a class," and I took a class. And the class blew my mind. And like the first time I ever looked for mushrooms, I found 8 pounds of porcini mushrooms, which the teacher was like, "Whoa. I cannot believe I've never seen anyone do this." And I was like, just hooked.
That's awesome.
From then. And it is so fun, which kind of probably goes into what your show is about, which is like, it is one of the things I do to like clear my head, to just sort of relax. It's, a form of meditation, and it is like the purest way of getting a dopamine hit.
Wow.
To like be in the woods in the quiet, and you're like, oh, there's one,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get that little like, wow, I did it,
Yeah.
and then you have like a few minutes where you don't find one, then oh, there's another one, and it's like it feels great.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and yeah, it's like it's still a dopamine hit, but like boy, it's a lot more pure than getting a like or all the other ways we get it.
Yeah. I love that. So in that same vein, with everything you got going on and you're doing and the things that your mind is on, what is bringing you joy right now?
Oh gosh, my children.
Hmm.
Uh, I've been really thinking about 45, and uh, we've both been talking. When I say we, my wife and I, like, this really is an incredible time in our lives. We're still in really good shape. Our kids are still really young. They like love being around us, but they're still like becoming independent. We can travel with them. I have a career that is going pretty well. All of our parents are still alive. Um, and I honestly don't know that I feel like this is like the prime of my life. I really do. And the thing about me is like I've actually said this about different phases of my life. So maybe I'm just that kind of guy, but I like that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I do actually feel like my purpose in life is to spread joy. So when I am doing that, I feel lots of joy. And the coolest thing about this whole experience has been how much joy I've spread to people. And I've gotten just so many wonderful messages from people about how I've helped them through a tough time, how like seeing the videos helped them laugh at something they were scared at. One person was like, it pulled me out of like a depression, which like, I mean, it's like, it really, quite frankly, even like brought me to tears early on. Cause I was like, wow, I'm like just doing this thing that is a God given and using it to spread joy, which like getting into really heavy things. But like, I like was on a run 2 years ago and I like made a deal with God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I was like, if you give me a platform, I will use it to spread joy.
All right, Sergio, this is the second segment of the show. This is where we dive a little bit deeper into your mental health journey. Because I believe the more that we can share, the more that the burden of like depression doesn't feel as heavy. So for you, how do you keep the darkness at bay?
Well, I do meditate. That helps quite a bit. I mean, a big turning point for me was not drinking alcohol.
Hmm.
And I stopped drinking alcohol about 3.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly wasn't like someone that was like, oh my God, like I got to stop or like, but I was a regular kind of like, oh, work's done. I'm going to have a beer now kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I was like, I would get random bouts of like, boy, I'm kind of down for like 5 days, like
Yeah.
I would call like random. And I didn't really understand it. And luckily I was like talking to a therapist about it. He's like, maybe you should just stop drinking. Just see what that does.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is a fucking depressant.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that depressant that I take every day is making me
depressed.
Yeah. And I'm not here to like tell people what to do. I'm just telling you what happened to me. But like, as soon as I stopped doing it, I was like, oh my God, like I feel so, I mean, it was basically since I was like 20, I had a drink a day,
Mm-hmm.
in some form. And as soon as I stopped doing it, I was like, I could not believe how much more positive I was, how much easier it was to not go down the dark rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
That combined with like meditation, exercise, is huge. And I think I've been really lucky that there's a great RuPaul quote, like, don't, it's okay to look at the darkness, but don't stare at it, which I think is like, which I take as like, be aware of the things that are going on, but don't, don't like focus on it intensely because it is too much. And there's always something. And, you know, I really do try to like focus on like what's in front of me. I definitely, you know, I do what I can as far as being like a good citizen, but there are limitations to what I'm willing to like let bring me down on a daily basis. Like I just won't read the news for a couple days. I won't, you know, I do really, it's our job to one, spread joy and like, and to do that, I also feel like I need to protect my happiness, you know?
I mean, that makes perfect sense. What's the saying? You can't pour out of an empty cup. You can't give if you have nothing inside you to give. And so protecting that internal resources or refilling that resource, whether it be from the meditation, taking the walk in the woods, you know, finding those little mushrooms of joy that you find on your walk, spending time with the kids. Those are the things that help fill up the well so that you can then pour out onto others, through your talent and through all the other stuff that you've got going on. Is there any special like act of kindness you like to do, for others? I mean, other than
I really,
you know,
I do love making people laugh. It is like, I know it's the same answer, but it is like, it is the thing. Even like as early as being a child, I remember saying like, I want to make someone laugh on the bus today. I want to make at least one person laugh today on my way to school. So it's always been like a big part of who I am. I really also like to acknowledge when people are doing something I like. I don't think we compliment each other enough, which I think is an act of kindness, of course. But I really try to, if someone's doing something cool or that I like, I try to acknowledge it. I don't go, well, we probably know they're good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm one of the big believers in that. You know, it's kind of like if somebody crosses your mind, I'm going to send a text, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
Hope you're doing well, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if they respond, great. If they don't, that's also great because I feel like I did my part in acting on what happened. You know what I mean?
Well, it does feel good to, I've always said like, oh, it's really selfish to be nice because it actually, it does actually make you feel good. I mean, I do it for myself as much as for someone else.
Yeah. Which, you know, what a great way to feel selfish by doing something nice.
I'm doing it because it feels good, not because I'm nice. Yeah.
It's like, quit calling me nice. I'm really just selfish.
Yeah.
Here's a flower. Now get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And you talked about, you know, kind of during the lockdown, finding that meditative walks, doing the mushroom foraging and things like that. Do you have any advice just for anyone looking for something to kind of take their mind off of stuff that might be weighing down? Maybe they're staring too much into the darkness. I
mean, I really do feel like getting into nature is incredibly important. If you have access to it, even just going to a park, there's something that happens when you're outside that I think is very powerful, and it's like, you know, we're connected to it. I started to notice it. When we had our firstborn, and like a baby would be crying, and you take it outside, and it calms down immediately. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like that, how much we just like need fresh air, and just need to like see the sky. Because I was living in LA at the time, and it's a pretty urban, and definitely would not be like going into the woods at all. But like when you have little kids, a lot of times we would spend time out. We'd spend a lot more time outside. Like we'd go to a park, or I'd take them on some nature center off near one of the places we love to go is Altadena. That was a great area. So I think getting outside, getting out of your head is a huge part of my mental health.
All right, Sergio, it's time now for the third segment of the show. It's time now for the Fast Five. The Fast Five.
Fast Five.
It's
Fast
time
Five.
now for the Fast Five. Fast Five. Sorry, I'm still working on that theme song.
No, it's good.
Okay.
I think you're done.
Fast Five is powered by Poddex. It's an app created by my friend Travis Brown. If you go to chewingthefatbr.com/Poddex, you can get a link to download the app. It's great for podcasters, but they're great icebreaker questions as well. So no wrong answers, just first thing that comes to the top of your mind. You ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. What makes you lose track of time?
Social media.
Yeah, you can get caught in that scroll pretty easily. I know that's not a very inspirational message, but it's
you want inspirational?
No, but it is factual. No,
I could have said picking mushrooms. That would also be true. That also makes time go by really fast.
But no, but it is still very factual, and I think that's one of the things we got to be careful of, though. You spend so much time ingesting other people's content or whatever that you lose the time to be creative yourself, or to do something else,
or checking when people like what you're doing, and you're like checking that, and you're like, well, I should be making something else rather than checking how well it's doing.
Love it. Question number 2. So do you like to plan things out in detail or be more spontaneous?
Ooh, I like to plan things and leave room for spontaneity. It's a really big part of my creative process.
I love that. I feel like I'm very, very plan the broad strokes type person, but leave space for the little pieces of magic to show up when they need to show up type stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. Question number 3. Burger or hot dog? Burger. What's your go-to burger?
Well, I stopped eating red meat a while, so I do Impossible burgers.
Okay.
But I will say, like, I acknowledge how the hamburger is the perfect meal. It was always my favorite thing. So now the Impossible meat is okay. I mean, it's good. But I've found that, like, what you put around it is just as important. And I'm like a cheese and pickles kind of a smash burger minimalist.
Yeah.
Like the raw white onions diced, pickles, American cheese or cheddar cheese, and mayonnaise. I really like it like that.
That's literally like my go-to burger right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now I'm hungry for a burger. Question number 4. Okay, I swear this is a random question. I did not plan this, but
okay.
Best Morgan Freeman movie of all time.
Oh my God. It's gotta be Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption, you mean? That kite scene where he caught the kite.
It probably is my favorite one, though. It's the one that definitely comes to mind first.
Yeah. It is one of my favorite movies as well. I feel like there are a lot of guys that is their favorite movie. And I don't know.
It's really good.
It's beautifully shot. It's got great acting, storytelling, all of that in it. But I don't know why. I feel like it just resonates with guys for some reason. Mr. Director, what do you think?
Well, my wife likes it too.
Oh, well,
I think it's for everyone. And it's got just enough scary prison stuff without being too much.
Yes.
Like we know he gets raped, but we don't need to scene. We don't need to see it. We knew it happened, but I was like, okay, that was just enough terror.
Yeah.
that I got it.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. All right. And question number 5. If someone made a movie about your life, who would play you? Now, I also add a second to this is like, who would actually get the gig, but who would you want to play you as well?
I can't remember. He was the dude in New Girl. Who's the guy from New Girl that I get told I look like him a lot? So that would be a good.
The guy that played Nick,
Jake Johnson. I've gotten that Jake Johnson would play me in a movie. And what was part two to it?
No, I was going to say, so who would you want to play you, and who do you think would actually get the gig? Who would actually get cast?
Who would actually get? Well, I think Jake Johnson would get it. Oh. I think he's. And who would I mean, I would want him to do it.
There you go.
He's great. Timothy Chalamet. I think he would be a good young Sergio for my origin story.
That would be good. Yeah, I could see him getting some B-roll going. Yeah. I think that would be great. Yeah, I mean, because what was it? Daniel Radcliffe played Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I love that. Well, Sergio, that is our Fast Five, and that's the show as well, my friend. Thank you so much for being here and giving me some of your time. I really do appreciate this, man.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. If folks want to keep up with you, what is the easiest way that they can find you and everything you got going on?
You can just go to Sergio Cilli. My Instagram handle is that SergioCilli. I feel like that's where I'm the most active. So go there. Okay. I'm going to be setting up a YouTube channel too that has longer versions, which will probably be called Will AI Replace Us on YouTube. Okay. But it's not set up yet, but it's on the list of things to do. Okay.
Well, I will make sure that I put the links to your Instagram in the show notes so that folks can find you. Again, thank you so much for everything that you do, the joy you are bringing to this world that we are in. I genuinely say this. I love you and I love what you're doing, and I wish you nothing but success in everything that you have going on.
Oh, thanks so much. Appreciate that.
And if you would like to support this podcast, I'd appreciate it if you bought me a coffee at chewingthefatbr.com. But until next time, I look forward to the chance we have to sit a spell and chew the fat.